qualify in the next 2 Super Weekends. So they should be through to the finals, which is a massive point for them, obviously coming through 5th out of PMPL Southeast Asia. But it's time to take a look now at our overalls and see how things might have adjusted in these last games that we did have today. Remember, Bigetron and 4AM were fighting for the #1 slot. Bigetron had it before this, and Bigetron will maintain it after that last game, but not by that much.
And Power888 up to 6th now. They've been skirting with the 8th, 9th position, so they've managed to get themselves right up there. And you can see it is close at the top, as you mentioned. But yeah, impressive that RRQ have managed to maintain there. But look how close it is. 270, 269, 263. Klas Digital Athletics still not done anything this Super Weekend. They've just not done anything yet. They've managed to maintain and consistently play, get those 5-10 points per game just to maintain their position.
68 points between 2nd and 3rd place, by the way. Just want to point that out really quickly. 68 points. The difference between 3rd and 8th is 35.
Somebody needs to have a really big day, and 4 Angry Men and Bigetron to have bad times to just make that ground up. Like, and not just 1 day, probably 2 days.
Maybe not even 2, potentially 3.
Any more? Any takers on 4?
Oh, A1 here actually able to overtake, then execute by just 1 point. And you've got to keep in mind, as a point of reference, that A1 Esports has only played 1 Super Weekend. Execute played 2.
That's bad.
Have still not been able to remain above the teams that still got like 15 games less than them.
15 games to 30 games, and they've got more points. That shows how poor Execute have been this Super Weekend. There is a 40-point gap, by the way, between 11th and 12th.
I want to give Execute a little bit of an excuse because they still have young players, right, who are still going to school. So they're up, 3, 2 a.m. playing their matches, and they have to go to class as well. So I don't want to be necessarily too harsh on them because we've seen in the league play what they can do, but we understand, school does take priority. Even Zuxi and Luxi today were playing from home because they have exams coming up tomorrow. So obviously very important, and we do want to give that little bit of an asterisk in there for Execute, but we know they can do better. We want to see them do better, and we'll see if they can obviously do that when we get into our league play for week 3 tomorrow. But our last 3 teams, Zeus, 78 points. Abrupt Slayers have fallen from 16th down to 18th, and GODSENT, unfortunately, not able to breach that 69-point threshold today.
Yeah, was expecting a lot more.
It's not the 69-point threshold anymore. It's the 80-odd point threshold. So, which is why we